It's the NFL on EA Sports, and we'll see who rules the skies in tonight's battle. It's the Baltimore Ravens and the Seattle Seahawks, and it's coming up next on Madden Football.
We are just south of Pioneer Square here in the great northwest city of Seattle at newly named Lumen Field, home of the 12s. Straight ahead, we've got a pretty good one on tap here, as it'll be the Baltimore Ravens taking on the Seattle Seahawks. Brandon Gaudin alongside Charles Davis. And before kickoff, Charles, quickly, your keys to the game.
Well, partner, I could give you the standard ones, turnovers, special teams play. But here's one that doesn't get talked about much anymore, and that's time of possession. Whoever controls the football, gives their defense a break, and takes care of business, that's the team that's going to win this ball game.
Here's the kicker, Jason Myers, to get this one started. And off we go from Seattle. And we will not see a run back on the opening kickoff. This will be a touchback. Number 8, Lamar Jackson, trotting onto the field at quarterback, ready to lead this Ravens offense.
Early part of his career, defenses really had to focus on his running ability, and they still do. But now, he's turned himself into a true dual-threat quarterback. When he plants his cleats in the ground and turns it loose, good things happen downfield.
The drive will commence with a run by J.K. Dobbins. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26.
Whenever we talk about the best strong safeties, one word constantly comes up, and that's instincts. Being able to diagnose run or pass and make the appropriate moves.
He crashed down hard there. He was ready for that running play. Now Dobbins again on second down. 4 yards on the pickup there, as it'll leave him with a third and about 4 more for a first.
On any running play that's called, they're always hoping that it's going to break big and go the distance. But when you get a nice game like that, you're able to do so many things anyway. You can come back and run essentially the same play again, continue to move the ball on the ground, or you can decide to throw the ball now because usually you have the defense back on its heels.
Now the throw on third down, knocked away and incomplete.
That was their first third down try of the game, and clearly something was off in the execution of that play. Good news, they've got a whole game left to clean that up and start clicking on those key third down throws.
Fourth down, and out comes Jordan Stout here to punt. And back deep is DJ Dallas. It's taken to the 26. That'll be a 41-yard punt, 4 yards there on the return. And it'll be Seahawk football, 1st and 10. So now we'll get a look at the other offensive unit as they come out for their first possession. And they're led out by their mobile quarterback out of West Virginia. It's Geno Smith.
I still remember back in 2013 when he was drafted out of West Virginia. He was coming off of back-to-back 4,000-yard seasons for the Mountaineers. Hadn't seen as much game time in recent years, but at one point, a capable starter in the NFL.
Now Smith and the Seahawks going to come up 1st and 10 right at the 30. Geno now to throw. That's complete to his running back, Dallas. And he gets this to the 35. Good for a gain of 5.
I know it was a gain, but you have to sense probably a little bit of disappointment there because when it's out there in open space, I think they expect to get more out of a play, don't you?
Especially when you're getting it to your guy out of the backfield. You're expecting him to be able to create something, be a little more shifty.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Good open field tackling. Held it to an okay game.
The throw over the middle, taken in. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. 22 yards there, a first down.
Well, I think when they look at their offense, they think to themselves, weapons, weapons everywhere. And they want to move the ball around. They want to spread it to different people. But you absolutely know they want to get this man involved as well. And that's what they just did on that play.
So in Raven territory now, here's a 1st and 10 at the 43. Now a nice throw here right side. He hauls it in. And they'll have it in the red zone before he crosses over out of bounds. Back-to-back receptions for him, and it's another first down.
Well, that certainly has to feel good. It's not all the time that the play caller should get all the credit. Sometimes I think in the huddle, the quarterback just says, hey, who's going to make a play for me? I just need something right here. And the end result there, nice first down. Drive keeps moving.
Completes it to Fant on the right side. Touchdown! Noah Fant from 19 yards away. And the Seahawks get the upper hand as they're on the board first here this afternoon. So they get their tight end away from the line to the outside, and he works his way in for 6.
Tight ends are not just blockers anymore. I don't know how many more times we need examples, but here's a great one. Gets to the outside, they give him the ball pretty quickly, and they trust him to get those extra yards, and boy, did he come through, bullying his way into the end zone after the nice catch.
Myers connects on the PAT, and that makes the score 7-0. And after the touchdown, here's Myers to boot it away. Hill going to sit on this one, and it'll come out to the 25. Baltimore set to take over here for their second possession of the game. And the first drive, 3 and out. Second possession, see if they can get a little momentum.
And oftentimes that first drive is just a feeling out process. You have some plays that you've got called and you want to see how the defense reacts. It may not go terrific on the first one. Now they're ready to go. They've kind of got a look at them, got a sense. Let's see if they open things up a little bit.
See if they open things up. Let's see what the defense does here, too, after a good stop. And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. Bobby Wagner, multiple times an All-Pro, in there to drop him for a loss.
You know, on these types of plays, we're always looking to assess blame. Okay, where did it break down? Sometimes it's just a great play.
Don't need it all back at once, but you figure they're going to need something here. 17 yards to go on second down. Jackson now. That ball caught. It's Mark Andrews, the tight end. And he's brought down, getting this one up to about the 35. The Ravens get a new set of downs, give them 17 on that pickup.
It is fun to watch the big man work the middle of the field. How about that post route there? Did an excellent job of getting his head around to look the football in and gain significant yardage.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Jackson going to keep it running right. And they bring him to the ground just shy of midfield. A good gain again. That's now 31 yards combined on those last 2 plays.
It looked like almost a miscommunication defensively because once he decided to keep it, he had pretty smooth sailing.
Yeah, it became a question of, wait a minute, who's got the quarterback? And when you talk about miscommunication, it's supposed to be called assignment football on the defensive side of the ball. But the assignment gets mixed up. That's the end result.
And now a throw on 1st down there, but it's incomplete.
This could be the start of a nice stand from this defense now after getting left backwards on this drive. Come through with another one here and have them staring at a 3rd and long, and that puts the defense in a position to dictate to the offense.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. To throw is Jackson.
Oh, into a sea of defenders and intercepted.
picked off by Jamal Adams.
And the Seahawks are going to take possession as they've got it at the 42-yard line.
That throw, Charles, over the middle of the field, and a few too many bodies in there got picked.
That's a normal situation, too, isn't it? No matter how hard you try and spread the field sometimes, there's always going to be a traffic jam, it feels like, towards the middle. And if there's any type of a missed throw or maybe the ball's tipped or just too many bodies in the area, an interception can result.
Good starting field position for them as they come up 1st and 10 at their own 42. After the interception, here's Smith. And the catch is made here by Tyler Lockett. And he's brought down. First down yardage on the first play of the drive, give him 14.
Well, it's almost as if they didn't leave the field after their first drive. They picked right up where they left off. Another good throw there. And this offense, humming here in the early going.
On first down, it's Smith. And he slides and covers up at the end as he's going to be able to pick up decent yardage. He'll get 8 on the scramble there. It'll be 2nd and a couple.
This early in the game, it's all about making steady progress downfield, hoping to lead to early points. And you can do it with your actual play calls or sometimes something a little more improvised, as we just saw there.
They'll run. It's Kenneth Walker. And he's stopped after a gain of 1. Not enough. Still a yard to go on 3rd down.
Sometimes you're aligned perfectly and the play comes to you, and sometimes you got to cover some ground to go make the play, as we just saw there.
We saw a great example of perseverance right there on that play.
Got to be careful. They might want to throw one over his head as this game progresses.
Smith going to throw on 3rd and 1. Well, they would have gotten a conversion if he could hold on. Instead, the drop means it'll be 4th down.
I wonder, Brandon, I just wonder, you think maybe he was worried about where he was on the field? Was he far enough? Was he close enough to the first down sticks?
Absolutely. He was right there by him, and I think he was thinking first down before he caught that football.
Yeah, got to catch it first, because if you don't catch it, there's no chance of picking up a first down.
Myers' kick is good, and that will extend their lead even further.
So, Charles, they get to them with their first turnover of the game and then make it hurt a little bit extra with a field goal.
And anytime you give the ball up, what's the first thing a coach tells his defense? Don't let them score off of this. You've got to put out the fire. In fact, in 2021, that's what one NFL coach termed his defense. The firemen. Go out there, guys, and don't let them put some points on the board.
So after the made field goal, 10-0 here early as the kick's away. And Hill will opt for the touchback. Baltimore about ready to go on offense.
They'll look to get something started. They need to, down 10-0 early as they've got it 1st and 10. Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. And that one incomplete, but now a penalty flag coming in late. That might be PI. So the flag thrown for the contact, mark off the yardage.
And sometimes you just read a hitch route way too fast. You get there before you're supposed to, and there's the penalty.
So the yellow flag came out, and that leads to a new set of downs for this offense. 1st and 10. Now it's Jackson.
That's complete. It's Rashad Bateman.
And getting this just shy of midfield. They'll spot it at the 49. The Ravens get a new set of downs. Give them 17 on that pickup.
You can almost hear the sigh of relief coming from their sideline and from their point on the field, because this has been a tough start for them thus far. A much-needed first down there. They needed something good to happen. Plays like that will continue to help them dig out of this hole.
On 1st and 10, it's Dobbins.
And he's up across midfield and down into Seattle territory. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4. Well, you're down early. How do you get back in the game, maybe establish the run? I think they're trying to do that.
Now, I'm with you on that one, and what I like about the message is that there's no panic from the head coach. He's already told his offensive coordinator, let's run the football, let's get things settled down a little bit and find our way back into this game.
Well, they're going option play on 3rd down.
And he probably should have given that one off as he's going to get hit and taken down behind the line.
Well, that play never really got off the launching pad. He had a linebacker in his face before he had a chance to do much of anything.
Yeah, I think it's big boys up front, that offensive line. They've got to do a little bit better job of protecting him if they're going to continue to run the option like this.
On 3rd down, Jackson. And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down.
Well, that sack, it goes to Boye Mafe. I thought there at the end he may have had a chance to release that, but that pocket closed a little too quickly, and down he went.
Yeah, he was certainly trying to do everything he could to extend the life of the play, probably counting in his head 1, 2, and then he ran out of time.
On 4th down, the punt team is on as this is sent away. And a fair catch called for and made just outside the 15-yard line. It'll wind up just a 35-yard punt, no return. And out will come the offense as they take over.
Now Smith and the Seahawks going to come up 1st and 10
at their own 17-yard line. Throwing now is Geno.
And this a quick slant to Lockett.
So the completion good for 6 yards, and that'll make it 2nd down. I think defensively you're okay with that. And here in the first quarter, he's going to get some catches, but they rallied to him quickly.
And that's what you count on, and I like what you just said. First quarter, can you do it all game long? They catch it, you tackle them, they go down on the spot. Because when you're able to do that and you don't give up big chunks of yardage after the catch, now you put the offense in a position where...
Well, this is taken in. It's complete. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. It's a gain of 34.
Boy, they've definitely come out of the gate smoking here in the first quarter. Whatever they've tried to run has worked. And there's another example right there. Game plan is one thing, but how about his accuracy? It's been exceptional.
So the big play gets him across midfield now for 1st and 10. Now Geno.
Throw out wide to Walker.
And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. That's over 40 yards of movement with those last 2 plays.
Nice little nifty play for him there. You know, that's the ability to read a defense and utilize players that don't often get picked up in coverage easily. And I'm talking about being able to use the backs out of the backfield. Because I know that when I used to cover, hey, we got everybody oh, he just snuck out there, and they just got a nice first down there.
What do we love to say? Get those backs into space, right? And they were able to do that there. Nice pickup on first down. It'll be a gain of 5. And that will bring up 2nd down.
It appears they found something that's working, and they keep going back to it. I guess you can actually say he has the hot hands now, doesn't he?
Yeah, well, it's one thing to hit your guy out of the backfield once, hit him a couple times. Yeah, you're right. Maybe they're onto something.
And I think a lot of that is simply if you get it to him in space, more times than not, he's going to get more yardage than you expect out of each play.
And Lockett going to pick up the Seahawks first down as he'll be brought down just outside the red zone. Mark him at the 21.
10-0 the score after 1 on EA Sports. Second quarter now from Seattle, and it is the Seahawks with the football here as they've got it with a 1st and 10. To throw is Smith.
Left side, he finds Smith and Jigba.
So just 3 yards on the completion there, and that's going to bring up 2nd down.
Up the middle, here's Walker.
And he's going to be down close to a first down at the Ravens' 13-yard line. Call it a gain of 5 there on the run, but they'll remain a yard or two short here with third down coming up.
I really like the vision he displayed on that play because he saw there wasn't a lane to completely break off a huge gain. So he found where there was the most space and got what he could. A nice dirty run that's a positive play for the offense.
3rd and 2, Smith.
And that nearly intercepted. Boy, for a guy known for his hands defensively, that's a ball he probably thinks he should have come up with. But instead, it's 4th down.
That is certainly one way to frustrate a quarterback. Run those extra defenders on the field. Dime package, lots of speed, no space to fit in the football.
Myers' kick is good. And that will extend their lead even further. So 3 points there, and they continue to build this first half lead.
Yeah, every little bit helps. And the more that you can put together drives and start controlling the tempo, controlling possession, finishing with points, the better off you're going to be.
Myers now converted on the field goal try. Now he's on to kick it away.
And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. The offense for the Ravens returns to the field.
They find themselves down 13-0 here as they try to get things started offensively. 1st and 10. Throwing is Jackson. He's got his man. It's Andrews. And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. Give him 10 yards there, and about by the nose of the football, he's going to have a first down.
A lot of tight ends just use their size and their strength, try to occupy some space and kind of body people away and catch the football. But not this guy. He's a refined route runner. Makes me wonder if he took some dance classes in his background with his footwork.
And they'll let the quarterback keep it here on 1st and 10.
And he'll be tackled just past the 35 at the 36. Give him 4 yards there on the first down keeper.
Typically on the read option play, when we talk about responsibilities, we're talking about what the quarterback has to go through. How about the inside linebacker, though? His job on this play, shadow the quarterback and hold him to a short gain. Did it to perfection.
But Jackson going to run again.
And holding it may be the wrong decision as he stopped in the backfield. That's a big loss of 3, and it brings up 3rd down. Well, there they went blitz defensively, Charles, and things were paved well coming from the linebacker position.
I love the way that you described it, paved well. Oftentimes, the guy who gets home on the blitz, he's going to get all the credit, but his teammates did all the dirty work, right? They ran into people on purpose. They sometimes tugged on jerseys to hold linemen to create space and gaps. And that play finished off really, really well. Well-conceived, well-designed, and even better executed.
Jackson to Andrews on that one. First down, Baltimore.
We often hear the phrase sure-handed tight ends, and he certainly fits into that category. Plus, he's got a quarterback who knows to look his way when they need a big pickup. And on this play, he finds him for the first down.
A couple of first downs, has the football positioned at the 43 as they come up 1st and 10. Now Jackson.
A quick throw there is incomplete.
Well, they've been back on their heels a little bit here on this drive, but a chance to exhale just a little bit there with incompletion on first down. Now they have to gear up, try and get 2 more stops, and escape this drive.
So 2nd down, still 10 yards to go. Ball on the 43.
Jackson on the give to Dobbins.
And here's another tackle made at the line. So they're converging well on the football now. Calling no gain on the run there. Now they'll be looking at a 3rd down.
I know the speed is the hallmark of today's NFL game, but the key to good rushing defense is still having your linebackers set the edge.
The Ravens on 3rd down. Just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 10. Here's Jackson to throw.
He's got his his target. That's complete.
Yeah, he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. 21 yards there on third down.
Yeah, these are the types of plays they're going to need to hit on if they're going to get back into this game. It hasn't been the greatest of first halves, but this is a nice throw here on third down, and they keep the drive going.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Jackson going to give this one to Edwards. Nothing doing. Barely able to muster a yard to hit the 35.
No doubt about it. A really nice job there by the defense, not allowing him to get to the perimeter. But that means your defensive ends, your outside linebackers, the guys that you pay big money to sack the quarterback, they also have to have interest in the running game as well. And they did a nice job there of holding the point of attack and not giving ground.
Jackson's throw into the hands of Andrews.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players, somehow came back to football. That's really good for the game of football. You're getting better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination, guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes.
On third down, here's Dobbins. And he's able to motor his way down to the 16-yard line.
The Ravens get a new set of downs, give them 17 on that pickup.
I'm okay with the call there. In fact, I actually like it. I know they're down a couple of scores, but the running game worked in that situation. I would continue to go in that direction.
So the ball down to the 16 here for 1st and 10.
They stay on the ground. This time it's Hill. He's down inside the 10 to the 8, and it comes on a gain of 8.
So much of the game today, we're looking for hybrid players, guys who can do a combination of jobs. And anyone who plays a strong safety position, now more than ever, is a hybrid type player. Half defensive back that covers passes and half linebacker that makes tackles. We just saw the linebacker make that play.
And that'll be taken in by Andrews for a Ravens touchdown. 8 yards on the touchdown pass, and the Ravens have cut it back within a score.
This is why a lot of play callers love play action in this spot. You just want to freeze the linebackers just for a second. Then you got a chance to get a quick pass into your tight end right behind them for a touchdown.
Justin Tucker for the extra point. And that'll make it 13-7. That one in the books as a 12-play drive.
And it's Mark Andrews who finishes things off with a touchdown reception.
Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown.
And he'll just sit on this one as their drive will start at the 25.
And Seattle now ready to march onto the field. And they split the uprights last time for 3. They've got the lead. They're not going to play this conservative. They're not hoping for another field goal. They're hoping for a touchdown.
I'm with you on that one. I like where your head is. I like the way you're thinking because you're exactly right. Trying to sit on a lead and play that way, that doesn't work too well for most teams. Run your offense. Run what you do best. Exactly. Put it all the way down and try to increase your lead in a big way. And the best way to do it, touchdowns.
Here's Walker to start the drive.
And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. 2nd down.
They'd love to just strike back with a touchdown right here, and if it's a long play, so be it. But the main goal, get a couple of first downs, run some plays, run some clock, allow their defense to get a chance to catch their breath, settle down, and relax a little bit after they just gave up a score.
On 2nd down, here's Smith, and that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's 3rd down.
Well, you most certainly don't want to go 3 and out here and give the football right back because your friend, Old Momentum, he's wondering if he should change sidelines about right now. And if you don't convert here, guess what? He's going to make the trek to the opposite side, and all of a sudden, you've got a battle on your hands.
Now Smith. Pass to the sideline and pulled in. And he's going to be out up around the 45-yard line. It'll be a gain of 16 for number 16.
And that's how you pick up a first down. Not only does he make the catch, but has enough body control to get his feet down inbounds, toe tapping and dragging to make sure he gets it done.
Walker now on 1st and 10. And he's across the 45. It'll be second down.
The passing game's been working quite well so far, but the running game's been a little bit of a struggle, and that's a surprise to me. Typically, when you can throw it, you've opened up lanes for your runners.
2nd down and 8. Geno now to throw. Oh, it's out. Smith lost it. And it's picked up by the Raven. Look at this. Middle of the field. A breakaway. And this is going to be brought back for a Baltimore touchdown. And give some kudos to the defensive coordinator, I think, here. They bring the blitz, they dial it up, and it turns into 6 points for them.
It's so nice to hear you actually give kudos to the defense. It is so nice. You're such an offensive guy like that. I love it. He dialed things up, and boy, a big play resulted for his guys.
Well, you like the credit to the defense there, right, my friend?
Yeah, do I ever?
Tucker now to add the point after. And this puts him on top by a penny. It's 14-13. So not only the cough up, but then the pickup on the other side, the scoop, and the score the other way. The fumble return for a touchdown. And you can bet they're preaching two hands on the ball here as the kick's away following that fumble return. And from back there, a wise move. He'll just sit on this one, and it'll come out to the 25. The Seahawks offense now, they get ready to come back onto the field. Now Smith and the Seahawks going to come up 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. Hands it to Walker to begin the series. And he fights forward for a modest 2-yard gain, 2nd down.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
They'll break the huddle, come up on 2nd and 8 at the 27-yard line. Here's Smith. He's got his big tight end, Fant. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Here's Smith. And his throw is incomplete.
To this point, I've been impressed with the work defensively. They have not allowed a lot of receivers to run free. And there's another example, another incompletion.
Smith, an incomplete pass on 1st down. Now it's 2nd and 10. They'll set up a throw.
And the timing a bit off that time as that one falls to the ground.
Feels like they're getting caught in between here because they did incompletions on 1st and 2nd down. Now you got to worry a little bit about the clock because you prefer not to give them another shot here in the first half. But if you don't pick up the 1st down, guess what? You're likely going to have to.
Again, Smith. Looking for Lockett, and it's intercepted.
Picked off by Arthur Mallett.
And it's a terrific return here as he's going to have him set up with a 1st and goal right at about the 6-yard line.
And I think this is a situation where quarterback coach in the sideline is going to talk to a signal caller and say, listen, it's 3rd and long and it's still early in the game. Let's not force things here. If we don't feel good about it, let's just check something down and punt the football.
And now Baltimore gets set to take the field.
And now they are in prime position, 1st and goal after the interception and return. They'll look to make it pay off for 6 points.
Suddenly it's 1st and goal after the interception. A quick change in the situation here. After the interception, here's Jackson.
And that'll be taken in by Andrews for a Ravens touchdown.
A great effort there. A beast in the red zone with his 2nd touchdown of the game.
And the Ravens are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead.
CD, for them, this has just been an offensive explosion here in the 2nd quarter.
Yeah, held scoreless in the 1st quarter. Now they find the end zone again here in the 2nd. Sometimes you just have to have some patience. A lot of people think it's always an adjustment. You have to change what you're doing. Sometimes you just have to do your game plan just a little bit better. And I think that's part of what we're seeing here.
Tucker able to connect on the extra point, and the lead is up to 8. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback.
Seattle again getting ready to take over offensively.
They are looking to make a bit of a 180. They are sputtering right now.
And frankly, I think it's time to call your playmakers together and say, all right, guys, we're going to lean on you through this patch. We need you to get us back on track and get us going in the right direction. So you're calling plays geared to them. Not necessarily what you look at your plays, oh, this hurts the defense. I want the ball in the hands of X, Y, and Z and see if we can move forward.
So don't get too cute. Go to the playmakers. And he's going to get a good gain of 9 here up to the 34.
It's funny, throughout the time that we've been together, when we talk with running backs about the ability to catch the ball, their eyes light up when they talk about open field and having one-on-one matchups, don't they?
Yeah, they do. And that's the reason why. What we just saw, shedding those tackles, and that's what they're used to doing.
It is, and it starts at the beginning of the play. One-on-one matchup if someone's trying to cover them, but they also like those one-on-ones downfield after the catch when they're running with the ball. They think they're going to win those too.
The coverage may be too good that time as he breaks away for 19 with his legs and a 1st down.
Evident there that he learned his lesson from the last drive. No way he was going to force a throw that time. When nothing broke open, kept it, and ended up running for a 1st down himself.
On 1st down, Smith.
He completes this to Walker.
And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard. They'll fake it. Now Smith. And this one is incomplete.
If you're going to take a shot downfield, 2nd and 1 is a perfect time to do it. You figure you're going to be in heavy run defense, you should have good windows to throw it downfield.
Now, it looked like there was something there right after the snap, but the defense able to recover. This is 3rd and 1. Very likely 4-down territory, even if they don't get it, though. Smith.
He had a man open, but he missed him, and it's incomplete.
His back has been a dependable safety valve all game, so he went back to him when his first read was covered. Just unable to connect, so the play results in no gain.
Field goal would have been a decent length at 55 yards. They keep the kicking unit on the sideline. They're going for it. They snap it to Smith.
Smith and Jigba with the grab.
And he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30. A gutsy call. Turns out to be a good one, though. First down on a pickup of 11.
First and 10 at the 27-yard line.
Smith now to throw.
And that one off the mark behind him. Incomplete.
Yeah, their back's up against the wall a little bit, and they come through by forcing an incompletion. Now they've got to continue to ratchet up the intensity a couple of more times and get off the field before giving up any more yardage.
Smith, an incomplete pass on first down. Now it's 2nd and 10. They'll look to throw again.
Well, he short arms that one just a bit. It's low and incomplete.
Well, every point certainly counts at this stage of the game, but after driving so far, you absolutely know they want to finish it with 6 instead of 3.
This offense was on the move. Now 2 straight incompletions have them looking at 3rd and 10. A shotgun snap for Smith. And that is incomplete. So 17 seconds now on the clock here.
I think it's safe to say that he's made some questionable decisions out there so far. Forced some throws into tight coverage. He's already been picked off in this game. 4th down now, but he was fortunate on that one not to have another turnover on his ledger.
A 44-yard attempt.
Myers' kick is good. And they'll get the lead down to 5.
So they're able to end that drive with 3 points in this one-possession ball game.
And ideally, you want to end every drive with points. Most quarterbacks would tell you, let's end it with a kick, right? A PAT, that's number 1. Field goal you'll take. Punts, you really don't want to do that. In this case, they'll take the field goal and get prepared for the rest of the game.
So not much time to speak of remaining in this first half as the kick's away. And they'll get him down inside the 30 at the 27.
The Ravens take over 1st and 10 at their own 27-yard line.
The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive.
And with 10 seconds left, not really enough time to put something together.
And they're just going to run it here up the middle.
And he'll just push his way forward for a few as the clock will run. It's a gain of 2, and it will be the final act of this first half of play. So we have reached halftime here with the visiting Ravens out in front. As we'll send you eastward to Orlando. Standing by with that EA Sports halftime report now is Jonathan Coachman. Take it away, Coach.
We saw a couple of high-octane offenses getting it done in the first half. Both teams had no problems moving the football. And you'd have to think, the team whose defense shows up in the second half is going to be the one who walks out of here with a victory.
All right, Coach, thanks. Yeah, both teams likely to make some changes in what's been a closely fought battle to this point.
The Seahawks trailing, but they will have possession first here as we resume action in the 3rd quarter.
And he will make it to the 20-yard line and no further. The Seahawk offense set to go to begin this 3rd quarter. This offense, Charles, had a strong first half throwing the football, at least in terms of yardage, but that hasn't translated so far on the scoreboard as they begin the third quarter here, trailing and looking for a little momentum.
Yeah, you're right about that because, you know, let's face it, in the first half, most of their focus was in the passing game. And to their credit, resulted in a healthy amount of yardage. So I would think that at halftime, they're going to anticipate that defense loosening up a little bit to try and cover the passing lanes. They've got to get the running game going, and there should be some gaps to run through now.
Knifes his way forward here, but just 3 yards on the play, second down.
Well, that's just a pile of bodies there, and that's when you kind of find out who's a tough guy, right? Who can stand up and make a play. It was only a 3-yard run, but for both sides, they had to walk away from that feeling like, okay, I can stand up when the going gets tough in here.
Now Smith.
And he couldn't get that one to his man. Short of him, it's low and incomplete.
Tyler Lockett was the target there. But now it's third down.
So 7 yards from the first down here as they come up to the line of scrimmage.
Throwing on third down, Smith. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
And so many times we look at the opening drive of the third quarter as a tone setter, and many coaches do emphasize it, and that's a strong performance there defensively to force incompletion and, more importantly, force a quick punting situation.
Now here's Michael Dixon as he's on to punt for the first time this afternoon. Taken in at the 22.
A nice return there of 11 to help mitigate a good punt.
And the Ravens, they'll take over. Now we take a glance at the offense as they work their way back out for their first possession of the second half. And both of these defenses have been stifling these last few drives offensively. Just not able to get anything going, so what needs to change?
I think a lot of the guys will go back and review, so to speak, because everyone has someone assigned to how did each play work. Okay, what did we use that kind of worked for us during this game? Try and get back to some of those plays, as well as the possibility of showing something you haven't shown already in this game and trying to change things up.
We'll see if they take the advice of Mr. Davis. So the completion results there in 9 yards, and it'll bring up a second and short.
In so many ways, throwing the hitch route is actually one of the safer things an offense can do. Get the ball out to the receiver as fast as possible, hope he's got man-to-man coverage, and hope that his athleticism wins on the perimeter.
Now an option play on second down.
And he'll get it out a couple yards shy of midfield at the 48. A solid gain of 7 yards that time on the keeper and a first down.
And this is one of those plays that if you can use it to keep the chains moving, it's a good play. And not only that, it tends to tamp down the pass rushers because they have to recognize this play and stay at home. The quarterback uses it well. Read option, keeps it, and picks up a first down with some nice running.
Jackson going to hold on to it again. And great blocking downfield as he's got this almost to the 35-yard line.
And a solid job using his legs. 16 yards and a first down on the keeper.
Well, partner, for a few years there, we thought this read option play was going to take over the whole NFL. It seemed like everyone was using it. But it has been scaled back considerably in the last few seasons, mainly because people are worried about their quarterbacks getting hit. But when you call it at the right time and you use it properly, you see the type of gains you can get. A nice chunk of yardage there by the quarterback.
One of the best of the last decade or so, Bobby Wagner in to bring him down.
I'll tell you what, this defense hasn't played its best, but they're still right in this football game. And if they keep making plays just like that, they're going to give their offense a chance.
And now Jackson will look to throw it.
This one into the hands of Aguilar.
And he's brought down, but not before he reaches the 8-yard line. A very nice pickup of 33 yards.
Well, as my dad would say sometimes, I'm just scratching my head here trying to figure out what was going on there defensively. How did you lose him in the middle of the field? If you're going to lose a receiver, make sure it's someone on the short side of things, not deep downfield, that can hurt your defense.
The chain gang hustling to catch up. Here's first and goal from just inside the 10. Now it's Jackson. And that'll be taken in by Andrews for a Ravens touchdown.
Touchdown, Baltimore.
8 yards on the touchdown pass, and the Ravens add 6 to their lead.
Circle that drive because that might be one to remember. Well executed to give them a little cushion.
Well, let's take it into the boxing ring. You talk about them commanding it, keeping the fight where they wanted to, whether it was in the center of the ring or putting them on the ropes because it was jab, jab, jab. And finally, the haymaker to put that drive away.
Now Tucker to add the PAT. And this one gives his guys a 12-point lead. So the drive there took 6 plays.
And it's Mark Andrews who finishes things off with a touchdown reception.
Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown.
And he returns this to the 22.
And out now come the Seahawks.
And Charles, a very uninspired effort. The last time we saw them out there was a quick 3 and out, and then they punted the football.
Yeah, and you never want to get stopped so soundly during a series, but what would be even worse now is letting it happen again right here. They've got to get going.
Now Smith and the Seahawks going to come up 1st and 10.
At their own 22. Now Geno. Escaping the pressure right. And he works his way past the line of scrimmage and then slides to a hole. Give him a couple on the scramble. It's 2nd down.
I certainly like what he did right there because he smartly wanted to avoid forcing anything downfield because nothing appeared to be open. Nice harmless slide there to avoid the big hit, and he gets a small gain on the play.
Here's Smith now on 2nd down. Oh, he'll want that one back. Incomplete. He doesn't drop too many in that department. 3rd down.
We know it's not an easy job to go out and catch passes when people are trying to tackle you and knock the ball away, but the bottom line is that's a pass he's got to have and a pass he should have caught.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Throwing is Smith.
That is caught.
And he takes us beyond the 35 before going out of bounds. It's a gain of 12, 1st down Seahawks. Now Smith.
He's going to get this complete here to Lockett.
And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. A big pickup of 38.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play that picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
So now then, the big play has them all the way inside the 30 now, 1st and 10. Up the middle they run. It's Walker. And they've got it in the red zone now, down at about the 19. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
Running lanes were at a premium in the first half, but he's able to find some room there, and he's hoping that that's a precursor of a big second half.
2nd down and 3.
Back to throw, Smith. That's complete to Disley, the tight end. First target, first catch, and a 1st down.
When the offense reads blitz, doesn't matter where it's coming from, tight ends know that they become a big part of the passing game because there should be an easy outlet when all those extra bodies are trying to get to the quarterback. A hot route, so to speak.
Now a 1st down throw, it's Smith. Throw left side complete. That's Walker. And he'll get this down inside the 5 to the 4 before he's out of bounds. That'll give him 8 that time. And they'll be left with 2nd and a couple.
Now to the ground. Here's Walker.
And once again, they stop him behind the line. Great job by this Ravens defense. 2 yards the loss, and now they go from 2nd and 2 to a tough 3rd and 4.
Sometimes you just sit back and marvel at what he can do defensively. Speed, strength, quickness. He's the whole package, and that package just wrapped up the runner for a loss.
From the gun on 3rd down, Smith dancing to his left. And he will score. Touchdown, Seattle. Geno Smith, a 6-yard touchdown run.
And the Seahawks are back within a score.
Hey, you're down on the scoreboard, but now your offense is in close, and this is where, as a quarterback, you say, I've got to make a play here. Doesn't matter whether it's a pinpoint throw or a scramble like this one. He takes matters into his own hands and delivers a touchdown run.
Extra point up and through by Myers. And this is back to a 5-point game. And after the touchdown, here's Myers to boot it away.
Hill going to think better of bringing this one out, and the drive will start at the 25. Ravens offense getting set and ready for this next drive. Pretty important 3rd quarter drive for them. Momentum has sort of shifted the other direction after that last touchdown as they nurse this small lead.
Jackson and the Ravens come up now 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive.
He gets this underneath to Dobbins.
And he'll be upended at the 28-yard line. Just a 3-yard gain there. And just in general, Charles, on a play like that, how tough is it for the defense to account for a running back essentially being a receiver downfield?
It's very difficult, especially if the running back has skills like a receiver, and you're aware of that before the game even begins. So throughout your practice sessions, you're going to want to be
into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Jamal Adams, and they're going to set up shop at the 40-yard line.
I tell you, Brandon, it seems like this guy's been all over the field so far. That's his 2nd interception of the game, and so much of playing defense in the NFL, especially when it comes to defending the pass, is all about positioning and technique. And this is fantastic work on both fronts there.
Now the ball now going back over to the Seattle Seahawks offense.
It's a quick turnaround for them after the turnover, but the way they moved it on their last drive, they're probably eager to get right back at it.
And you know me and you know my tendencies in this situation. What do I want right now?
Be aggressive.
Be aggressive. Take your shot right here.
After the interception, here's Smith. This is Fant on the short completion. And this will leave him a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on 1st down.
Now that's staying ahead of the chains. Really good pickup on 1st down, hitting the tight end there. Now brings up a 2nd and manageable.
Just found a hole in that zone.
From the 31, here comes 2nd and a yard. Straight ahead, Walker.
And he'll work it inside the 30 to the 29-yard line. 2 yards on the pickup, and that's all they needed to move the sticks.
2nd and 1, and people want to run the football. This is where every back in the league is supposed to do exactly what we just saw there. Pick up the 1st down.
Off of play action, here's Smith.
He throws it on the move, but can't connect as that falls incomplete.
Had an open man that time, but ended up putting a little too much heat on it, don't you think, partner?
Absolutely, just needed a touch more air under it. Instead, he fired an absolute bullet.
3rd quarter of a tight football game as we come up on a 2nd and 10. A gear for Walker running right.
And he'll be brought down at about the 25 after a pickup of 4.
They just keep trying, but so far, finding no room for him to run.
None whatsoever. In fact, you run the numbers. He's under 3 yards a carry at the moment.
Now a 3rd and 6.
Now it's Smith.
And complete to Smith and Jigba.
And out of bounds right around the 20. So 5 yards here, 5 on the play. And that's going to bring up a 4th down.
Now that's going to be a tough one to explain when they get together and watch the game film, isn't it? I mean, they had the right call, had the out route. He's got to know where the first down sticks are, yet he steps out of bounds that close. Not their best play.
Myers' kick is good. And that will cut the lead down to just 2.
Well, the 3 points certainly helps, but you feel like, Charles, at this stage of the game, when you force those turnovers, need to start converting them into touchdowns.
Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised myself because I thought in this situation, they were thinking end zone or bust. Now they got to rely on their defense, get the ball back again for another opportunity to get 6 points.
Myers now converted on the field goal try. Now he's on to kick it away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line.
Baltimore's offense set for this next possession. So now, Charles, this drive maybe a touch more important, trying to erase the memory of that interception they had the last time out.
Yeah, and everyone goes through this because even the best in the game, you're going to have games where it just doesn't go right for you and interceptions result. So frankly, to me, it's all about how you respond, not just the types of plays that you call, but how you carry yourself, how you show your team that you're still with it, and how you continue to lead.
They'll start on the ground with Dobbins.
And he gets this one just shy of the 40, down at the 39.
42 yards rushing for him now on just 6 carries to this point.
Sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are times this game is about patience, isn't it? Has had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him going.
I was just going to say, maybe that gives him a little juice, because you're right, he struggled, especially in that first half.
Yeah, and I know the great ones always think to themselves, just hang in there. I'm just one big carry away from busting this open. That's a good start for him.
Not his best throw there, but where we sit right now in the 3rd quarter, he's had a pretty good game throwing the football.
He certainly has, and it's not exactly at the point where we're doing 4-minute offense yet, but they've got to think about, I'm not going to say milking the clock, but understanding clock management here on out.
On 2nd down, a run with Dobbins.
And he'll be brought down just shy of the 45.
4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a 3rd down.
If you're a football guy, that's a pretty run because everyone is in sync right there. Obviously, the guy carrying the ball, but how about the people up front? Leverage, athleticism, they created some nice space for him.
On 3rd down, Jackson. They set up the screen for Dobbins.
And they're able to stop him short. On 3rd and 6, they'll only pick up 4. We have played 3 quarters. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now in Seattle, Washington. It's been a good one so far. Just a 2-point game here as we get set for quarter number 4. The Ravens send their punter out now as he's on here to punt it away. And he gets it away, a directional kick going toward the sideline. And the Seahawks get ready to trot out on the field.
Their defense accomplished step 1 of the mission. They forced the punt. Now they'll look to erase that deficit and take a 4th quarter lead. Now Smith and the Seahawks going to come up 1st and 10
at about the 32.
They'll run with Walker to begin the drive.
And he'll manage to pick up about 4. It's 2nd down.
Nice chunk of yards on 1st down. It really opens up your options for what you want to do on 2nd. You go right back to him and hope he explodes, or sucker the defense in before throwing over the top.
They'll work from the 36 on 2nd and 6.
Geno now to throw. This one into the hands of Metcalf. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. 28 yards the gain there on the catch and run.
And here we are in the fourth quarter, partner. We watch them drive for what would be a go-ahead touchdown. And you and I both know this is where you need a quarterback who can keep his cool back there. Not just for himself, but to keep the rest of the team relaxed too.
So in Raven territory now, here's a 1st and 10 at the 37-yard line.
Out of the gun, Walker with it.
And he'll do a nice job here just to fight his way back to the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down.
Defensively, though, they had a chance there to hit him for a loss. Couldn't get it done.
Looked like someone was able to knife into the backfield, but he wasn't able to get him down. But his compatriots, they were able to grab him at the line of scrimmage and not let him get any further downfield.
From the gun, here's Smith. And on the left sideline, he caught it, but out of bounds, according to the head linesman. Incomplete, so the ball a little late getting there, and it's 3rd down.
Well, that's a defensive coordinator's got to be happy with that result. They took away all options downfield and forced the incompletion.
A potential field goal, if you're thinking about that, almost 55 yards from here as they try to get closer on 3rd down. Out of the gun, Smith.
He's got his target. That's complete.
And down to the 20 he'll go before heading out of bounds. It'll be a gain of 16 for number 16. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
On the give, it's Walker.
He's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on 1st down.
This has been an up and down, back and forth type of a game, hasn't it? Maybe this long drive take a little bit of the wind out of their sails, kind of settle things down a little bit.
Just need a yard here. 2nd and 1. Sticking with Walker on 2nd down.
And they'll go backwards here, losing yardage to the 14.
It'll be a loss of a full 3 yards there, and it also brings up 3rd down.
There's no question that coming into this game, this defense was pretty vocal about its desire to take this running back out of his game, and all that pregame wolfing has turned into results.
Throwing now is Geno. And that is incomplete.
What an excellent defensive stand there in the red zone. Nice tight coverage. They certainly recognized how important it was to bring up 4th down here.
So the field goal unit is on the field as this is a big spot right here. This for a 4th quarter lead.
Myers' kick is good, and they have taken the lead here in the 4th quarter.
So it's another field goal here. He may need to ice his leg after this one. That's now 5 field goals converted in this game alone.
Yeah, get the trainer. They're going to need this guy, and they've needed every single one of the field goals he's made, too. If they're going to get out of here with a win, I say he gets a game ball.
Myers now converted on the field goal try. Now he's on to kick it away.
And a good return, able to get out across the 35 to the 36.
And the Ravens taking the field.
And now they find themselves trailing following the field goal. Still a good amount of time in this 4th quarter, but this drive very well could determine the outcome of this ball game.
Jackson and the Ravens come up now 1st and 10 at their 36-yard line.
He'll start with a handoff to Dobbins.
And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain.
53 yards rushing for him now to this point.
Offensive linemen love creating space for their guys carrying the ball. But when that guy also breaks tackles and creates extra yardage, they almost feel like he's one of them, and they really embrace him.
On second down, here's a keeper by the QB.
And now they're going to get him down right at the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain on the keeper, and it's going to bring up a third down.
Well, for that being an option play, there really weren't too many options available for him, were there?
No, there weren't, and at least he was able to get back to the line of scrimmage, so they didn't lose anything, but you're exactly right. Nowhere to go.
They'll try and run for the first with Edwards. He's not going to get there. That won't even be close. It was blown up in the backfield. Now we're going to get a timeout here as it looks like there's a Seahawk injured on the play.
So as the medical staff takes a look, we'll step aside.
The Ravens send their punter out now as he's on to punt for the fourth time tonight. And this one hits at the 3 and then bounds into the end zone for a touchback.
And we will get another look at Seattle's offense. Their defense got the stop, forced the punt, and now you really start to monitor the clock as they nurse this slim lead. Now Smith and the Seahawks going to come up 1st and 10
at the 20. They'll start this drive out on the ground. No gain on the play there. Second down. Run blitz there defensively, something we might see more of here in the fourth quarter.
I think we'll see a lot of it, and the difference between that and a pass blitz, you're trying to get to the quarterback. You're trying to scheme someone open who will get to the QB and make sure he gets on the ground. In a run blitz, you're actually trying to cover up gaps, trying to cover up holes so they can't run the football.
Now a deep ball there on second down, but it'll wind up incomplete.
Just because you've got the lead in the fourth, it doesn't mean you have to play it safe. I like the aggressive play call there to push it downfield. That time, it didn't work out.
They come up to the line now facing a 3rd and 10 after the incompletion. Smith now to throw. And that will be incomplete.
Nice back-to-back plays defensively. They're stacking momentum now. 1 incompletion, 2 incompletion. They're going for more.
Now here's Michael Dixon as he'll kick it away for the second time. And a fair catch called for and made just inside the 35-yard line. A 41-yard punt there with no return.
And they will take over 1st and 10.
Jackson. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
Well, he certainly thought he had a window to push that ball downfield, but as soon as he released the throw, the corner was there to slam that window shut.
Here's 2nd and 10.
Jackson, option right. There he goes, left side.
Inside the 10.
And all the way in for a Ravens touchdown. Lamar Jackson, 65 yards.
And the Ravens use the defensive breakdown to take the lead away here in the 4th. Well, we've certainly seen this before, CD. No one can quite electrify a crowd like Lamar Jackson, and really don't know what else to say other than that was special right there.
I think you pretty much said it all, but I go back to what you said about electrifying a crowd. He's also electrifying us, and we're calling the game. This guy is simply sensational.
Jackson here, he's going to look to throw.
And he's got it. So the two-point conversion is good, and they add on to their fourth quarter lead.
And around the goal line, especially on two-point tries, sometimes the QB's best friend is that big target, the tight end.
I love how you described it because you know he's going to have some length and some catch radius as well as a big body to keep people away from the football.
Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown.
And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback.
And Seattle now ready to march onto the field.
And now after the touchdown a moment ago, they work from behind in a 7-point game in this fourth quarter. Plenty of time on the clock. Now Smith and the Seahawks going to come up 1st and 10
at their 25-yard line. They'll try and start this drive in the air.
And he's taken in by the tight end Fan. And he's going to be out up around the 45-yard line.
An ideal beginning of the drive there as they'll get 20 and a first down.
I like the design that we're seeing right there. This is what they need. Down by a touchdown here in the fourth. They just need to keep working their way downfield. And when they see openings, take their shots.
Up the middle, here's Walker.
And across midfield he goes into Raven territory.
45 yards rushing for him now in the ball game.
You know what really fires up offensive linemen? When the guy that is carrying the ball behind them can create his own space and break a tackle along the way.
Ball on the 47-yard line. Here's 2nd and a couple.
Now it's Smith off the bootleg.
This is Fant on the short completion.
His 5th catch tonight, and it's good for a first down.
And the tight end is certainly a position built to move the chains because they can control space underneath. If they've got good hands, then of course they're a dynamic target. But one other thing is they're right in the sight lines of a quarterback on just about every play. And that makes it easier for the quarterback to pick him out and deliver.
On first down, Smith.
Going right back to Fant.
Yeah, that's good for a gain of 6, and it's 2nd down.
That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he's unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
This 2nd and 4. Hand off here to Walker. Powers through. First down, Seattle, 16 yards, the gain there.
We'll definitely see some open running lanes, and he's taking advantage of it right now, but that shouldn't be a surprise. Defense has the lead. They're playing for the pass first.
The drive continues as they search for a tying touchdown. Here's 1st and 10. Again, it's Walker. And a couple of yards as they move it from the 21 to the 19.
You know that old expression, it's not my night? It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage, but it's been a tough go for him.
And every time he looks up, somebody's there defensively. That was the same case on that play. On 2nd down, it's Walker. And they go the wrong way here. Knocked back to the 20.
A loss of 2 brings up 3rd and 10.
Fourth quarter, down to the final 2 minutes, and we've got a one-score game.
So it's Seahawk football as we march toward a conclusion. They face a critical 3rd down now, needing a score here in the late going. Throwing there, but this pass is going to wind up incomplete.
With that incompletion, reality is staring them right in the face. This entire game is down to the next snap.
4th down, 10 yards to go.
Here we go on 4th. Smith. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. They had to go for it with such little time remaining, and the Ravens are going to get the football back. Well, their first 4th down attempt earlier was successful. This one backfires for a turnover on downs.
I like their aggressiveness. I like what they're doing. They got it the first time they went for it. Why not a second time? I don't think they'll be daunted from attempting it again. If you're on the defensive side of the ball, though, any 4th down stop is a big momentum play.
We got to have 2 hands on the football here as they run on 1st down.
And now we're going to get a timeout defensively. So another stop, 1:50 left in the football game. So 2nd and 9, and you'd have to figure just about all 11 probably crashing the line here.
He's going to get it again. Just looking to get forward and protect the ball.
Now the Seahawks call the 2nd of their 3 timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. It'll be a nickel look here for the Seahawks on 3rd down. Jackson to throw.
Pass taken in by his big tight end.
Now the Seahawks forced to use their 3rd and final timeout, and they'll be disappointed to have to burn one there after giving up the 1st down. And they will take a knee here.
Second and 11 now.
Oh, the motion comes too late, and this is going to be a delay.
Delay of game, offense.
The offense knew it. They were already starting to walk back as that one is accepted.
Still 2nd down.
The Ravens taking a knee with victory seemingly in hand here. Down to a knee goes Jackson, and that should seal it.
Yeah, it's fun to kneel down in front of your home crowd, but when you go on the road, that band of brothers attitude, right, just us against the world, and get it done, how happy are they?
I remember a coach at a previous stop telling me, you get a win on the road, doesn't matter the opponent, get out of there like you stole something, and they did in this one. So the final seconds tick away in this Baltimore victory. And this one wasn't easy. You had an East Coast team, Charles, going west, playing a night game, but somehow they were able to get the job done.
Yeah, when you talk about playing a night game, they're closer to being sleepy because of East Coast time with their bodies when you're kicking off to play the game. So that's a real big accomplishment for them to get that done. The flip side, too, is traveling home in the old days, You had to wait to get the video for your next game. You had all those, so you were really a day behind. Now the video's on their computers as they get on the plane to head back, so they can get a lot of work done on the plane while they celebrate.
It's going to be a long red eye, but as you said, a celebratory red eye back home. So that'll just about do it for Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. For more, log on to easports.com. From Seattle, so long, everybody.